Marcy raised me, and whether right or wrong, streets gave me all I write in a song. Hootie babysitted, changed my diapers. Gil introduced me to the game that changed my life up. East Trenton grew me, had me skipping school. Valencia's boyfriend
Guys,
Vogel had
what
me
is
making
up?
moves.
Welcome to
Mama
another
raised me.
episode of Maximilian Must Know. This is going to be a scent safari episode, and today we're going to take a look at fragrances from the house of Pell Perfumes. Now, for those of you who don't know what Scent Safari is, it's sort of a series on my channel where I take a look at a fragrance house that I don't know that much about, usually don't have a bottle of in my collection from the house, and I reach out to them, see if they'll send me some samples, and if they will, I'll pick out 4 and sort of go through them. The way I'll do that is earlier that day, I'll put them on my skin, sort of get a good feel for them, and then prior to shooting, I'll refresh them on my skin. That way I have a good feel of the different stages of the fragrance. So today we're going to look at Pell Perfumes, and I picked 4 fragrances sent to me by this house. Now, I know of this house because the perfumer Chris did a fragrance called Beaver from Zoologist, and I really enjoy that. My friend Victor Wong, fragrance house is Zoologist. Chris Bartlett did Beaver for that line. There are 2 other fragrances done by another independent perfumer. And then I saw a fragrance called Artemis as number 500 on the Base Notes Top 500 Modern Perfumes of All Time. And I said, I've got to reach out to Chris and try to get my hands on these, and I did. And I'm happy he smuggled me out some scents, and we'll talk about 4. Before we do that, let's just briefly talk about Pell. This is a one-man operation out of the UK run by Chris, and what he says is that all my products are created using top quality ingredients with a high proportion of natural materials, unlike conventional designer perfumes where most of your purchase price goes into advertising, marketing, and packaging the product with just a tiny percentage left over for the scent. I have no expensive celebrity endorsements or the like. It's all about the scent. I make fragrances for men, for women, and for the home. I can also make a fragrance for a functional product such as a shampoo, shower gel, or bath oil, or even a match ranged of fragrance products. Please note that Pell Perfumes is just me, Chris Bartlett. Hopefully that means I can ensure everything is right, but it also may take a little bit longer. The first fragrance we're going to talk about is called Sticky Leather Sky, and the prices for this range from €19 for 11 ml to €76 for 100 ml. Now, this is part of the Penning Perfume project, an idea to combine 2 art forms. Poets are giving perfumes from which to take inspiration, and perfumers are given poems, basically. And so there's a poem that accompanies this one. The description of the fragrance is that the fragrance opens with bright, familiar notes of bergamot that shade into fresh, clean air, heavy with dampness. There's a slight metallic edge, a light, woody background representing the orchestra. White jasmine and orris recall the opulence of the Paris Opera. The strong leather accord comes into play and lasts, providing a dominant persistent theme. The top notes in the leather base are a little uncomfortable with each other, just like the couple at the concert who are discovering how different they are. For me with this one, I don't get a ton of leather here. I get the woods and the metallic edge. I really enjoy this scent. I get some animalic leather perhaps in here. I also get a little bit of like syrupy jasmine somewhere in the back. I really think this is a beautiful perfume. Is it my idea of an ideal leather scent? No, but I think to me this is in the vein of like M by Pure Distance or Kier by Mona d'Oreo without the hardcore spice or the hardcore animalic. It's very alive and rich, almost fluid. It feels very vibrant. The bergamot gives it some cleanliness, and then the leather and the syrupy jasmine give it some dirtiness, so I do really get the juxtaposition in Sticky Leather Sky. The next one I want to talk to you about is called Engine, A-N-J-I-N. This one can go up to €19, up to 98, and the description here is citrus, spice, and precious woods come together, making a long-lasting evening fragrance designed to last the whole night through into the morning. This is a spicy, vigorous fragrance with plenty of complexity to hold your interest. Warmth and depth are provided by sandalwood and styrax with notes of pimento, coriander, and clove to enliven them, and subtle floral undertones to add intrigue. A fine cologne to accompany you on a sophisticated night out. This one is sort of, I think, a stab at like a nice night out, clean sort of spice fragrance for a very casual guy, and dare I say almost a more upscale version of like Old Spice. There's citrus, which provides freshness, but then there's that sort of roughness and edge from the styrax and all of the spice. It's, again, to me, this is about contrast. There's a contrast between clean and fresh and a little bit dirty. But while I could see sticky leather being enjoyed by either sex, to me, this one is sort of more of a men's fragrance. I enjoy this one too. I think I like sticky leather a little bit better. I think it's a little more different. The next one is called Artemis. This one is 30 ml for €36, up to about €100. And this one is built around the material of Artemisia absinthium. We've also got green mandarin, sandalwood, white musk, and pink pepper. This one is named for the Greek goddess of the hunt. This one, guys, is perfect. I mean, about as good as fragrance gets, and the reason why that I do all the work that I do to feature these on my channel, this is a lot of work, but to smell scents like this and, you know, Renaya J's, Amber Loop, and all the cool shit that I get to smell and talk about makes this so much fun. And we'll talk more about indie perfume in a little bit, but this one is about, like, for me, being in the middle of the forest, sitting on a blanket with sort of green mandarin oranges around and sipping anisette or ouzo, and it's, to me, not typically what I think about when I think of absinthe. You know, my perception of absinthe is a little bit different. I used to be pretty into drinking absinthe. Absinthe to me is a bit more anise, a bit greener, I would say. You know, I think the closest fragrance that I've smelled absinthe is either Arsenic by Tokyo Milk or Absinthe by Nasamato, but this is really, really great. You know, this and Absinthe by Nasamato are probably my two favorite sort of absinthe representations or absinthe inspired scents. This is lush and heady and green and warm and deep and funky and earthy and chewy and dense and long lasting, and everything is right with the perfume. Get this one, guys. Fuck the bullshit. Get your nose on this one. The final one we're going to talk about today is the one in the end here you can see, and this one is called Orange Spice. And this one tops out at about €76. This one is meant to be unisex. You've got neroli, mandarin, tangerine, orange flower, petit grain, ambergris, frankincense, sandalwood, and castoreum. And I love this one too. Chris just murked the orange in this one. And what I love about this one is that it opens up really innocently. You start off with this sick blast of orange that like reminds me of orange tea, and you kind of think, you know, where's the spice? And then it starts creeping in, and it's subtle. I think it would have been really easy for Chris to thrown in just a bunch of allspice and cinnamon and toddy spice, but this is so subtly and very delicately spiced. It's upscale. And the word for me on this one is restraint. It's fairly dry. It just sort of smells like an orange tea with like a stick of cinnamon in it and a little bit of spice, but it doesn't go all out. It's not like a Yankee Candle Christmas tree shop sort of scent. It's very fresh orange and very restrained spice. I think this is an excellent scent. It's probably my second favorite of the bunch behind Artemis, which is just, Artemis is ridiculous. So guys, that's sort of my opinion on these four, and you know, I always say it, and I just want to reiterate that indie perfume is where it's at. It's where you're going to see all the risk taken. It's where you're going to get the best ingredients in the fragrance. There are people really not looking at cutting costs. They're trying to present the best product they can for the best price that they can, and I've always said this. It's sort of become the rallying cry on my channel. is that indie perfume is the place where you should go if you're looking for something different and you don't want to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to have a nice perfume collection. You can check out these scents by Pell, and there are so many more on his site, and they're just so well crafted, and they're all different, and they're all fun. They're all really fun. They're just cool scents, and they're just immensely high quality. I'm so happy to have gotten my nose on these. Anything that Chris creates and wants to send me, I'd be more than happy to feature on my channel. And to me, Artemis should have been much higher than 500 on that base notes list, but I think it's cool that Chris made the list, because I probably, I don't know that I would have known about this house, at least for a while, if not for that. And I'm just so happy to have gotten the chance to get my nose on these, and I really implore you guys to reach out and check this house out, because Chris is really doing amazing things. And if you want just a taste of that, check out the fragrance that he did for Zoologist. It's so different. It really reminds me a lot of my favorite niche fragrance of all time, which is Zing by L'Artisan Parfumé. That's my favorite niche fragrance of all time, and I feel like Beaver is very akin to that. It's more animalic, it's more funky, but it reminds me of that. So maybe that's why I like that one so much, and these are all really interesting and really different, and the last thing I just want to say is the performance on these is just through the roof. I've put these on my pulse points earlier in the day, and they were going strong all day. Almost did not have to refresh tonight, but I wanted to get those top notes again while I film. So guys, that's it. We will see you, I think, next week with another episode of Scent Safari. I have a few more really great episodes planned, and definitely this week we'll be back with more videos, and I'll see you again real soon, guys. You know what it is. My name is Maximilian. I must know. I'm going to link to Chris in the description. Peace.
God help me forgive him, I got some issues. Mickey cleaned my ears, Annie shampooed my hair. Eric was fly, shit, I used to steal his gear. I was the baby boy, I could do